You take the weekend off, you sleep in, you avoid work. And Monday morning, the exhaustion is still there. Rest doesn't heal burnout. It only pauses it. If rest worked, you wouldn't wake up tired again. Most advice tells you to stop. Rest, take a break, step away. But if stopping actually worked, you wouldn't feel the same exhaustion when you start again. So let's talk about what rest cannot fix. The problem isn't that you worked too hard. The problem is that you worked on things that didn't matter to you. There's a difference between being tired from effort and being drained from misalignment. One recovers with sleep, the other doesn't. You've confused depletion with fatigue. Fatigue comes from exertion. Your body used energy and needs to restore it. Depletion comes from spending energy on things that give nothing back. Your spirit keeps a ledger. Every time you say yes to something hollow, you make a withdrawal. Every hour spent on work you don't believe in cuts another hole in your reserves. This is why vacations don't fix it. You come back rested in body but unchanged in pattern. Within days, sometimes hours, the weight returns. Because the weight was never physical, it was structural. Built into how you spend your days. Look at what you did yesterday. How much of it was truly yours? The meeting that should have been an email. The project you're doing because you think you should, not because you want to. The conversation with someone who drains you. The goal you adopted from someone else's definition of success. Every misaligned action costs you, not just time, energy, and rest cannot refill a container full of holes. You're not burned out because you need a vacation. You're burned out because your life is full of things you didn't choose. Obligations you accepted without thinking. Relationships you maintain out of guilt. Standards you're performing for an audience that doesn't exist. The exhaustion you feel isn't from doing too much. It's from doing too much that doesn't feed you. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between real threats and manufactured pressure. So when you spend your day chasing metrics that don't matter, answering to people whose opinions you don't respect, and performing a version of yourself you don't believe in, your body responds the same way it would to actual danger. It floods you with stress hormones. It keeps you in a state of low-grade alarm. And over time, this becomes your baseline. You forget what it feels like to move through the world without carrying this invisible weight. Rest interrupts this cycle temporarily, but it doesn't change the cycle itself. You step away from the noise, feel better for a moment, then step back into the same structure that created the problem. The relief you feel during rest isn't recovery. It's the brief absence of damage. The moment you return, the damage resumes. This is why rest feels less effective each time, because the underlying misalignment keeps deepening. The gap between who you are and what you're doing widens, and no amount of time off can bridge that gap. Most people treat burnout like a battery problem. They think they just need to recharge. But burnout isn't about empty batteries. It's about spending energy in ways that violate your internal sense of purpose. You can rest all you want. If you return to the same misaligned life, you'll deplete again. Faster each time. Miyamoto Musashi fought over 60 duels to the death. He trained daily, carved sculptures, wrote philosophy, meditated in mountain caves, and he never burned out. Not because he rested more, because he carried less. He lived by one principle: do nothing that is of no use. Every possession was questioned, every relationship examined, every thought tested for weight. He understood that energy isn't created by addition. It's revealed through subtraction. When you remove what doesn't serve you, what remains has room to breathe. Your mind stops running in circles. Your body stops fighting itself. Musashi could train for hours because he wasn't training to impress anyone. He wasn't chasing validation or comparison. He was walking a path he chose himself. That clarity gave him endless energy, not motivation, not discipline, alignment. You're tired because your energy depends on outcomes you don't control. The next promotion, the next achievement, the next piece of validation that proves you're enough. Every time you tie your piece to a result, you give your power away. When the result doesn't come, you collapse. When it does come, it's never enough. This is the trap. You think exhaustion is a sign you're working hard, but exhaustion without alignment is just slow self-destruction. You're burning through your reserves to build a life you don't even want. And rest can't fix that, because the problem isn't that you're tired. it's that you're lost. The solution isn't more rest, it's more ruthless subtraction. You need to look at your life with the same scrutiny Musashi looked at his possessions. What are you carrying that serves no purpose? What obligations are you maintaining out of fear or habit? What version of yourself are you performing that no longer fits? Start removing, not dramatically, not all at once. Just notice what drains you and gives nothing back. That friendship that feels like work, that hobby you're forcing yourself to enjoy, that standard you're holding yourself to that came from someone else's mouth. Let it fall away. Energy doesn't come from doing more things, it comes from doing fewer things with your whole being. When you eliminate the misaligned, what remains is sustainable. Not because it's easy, because it's yours. This is what people miss about discipline. They think discipline is forcing yourself to do hard things. It isn't. Discipline is refusing to do things that don't serve you. Even when they're comfortable, even when they're expected, even when walking away makes you look like you failed. The exhaustion you carry isn't proof you're working hard, it's proof you're working against yourself. And no amount of rest will change that. You have to change the structure, the daily patterns, the choices you make when no one's watching. Most men don't collapse from effort, they collapse from emptiness. You wake up already behind. Check your phone before your feet hit the floor. Scroll through lives that aren't yours. Rush to meetings about projects you don't care about. Answer messages from people who drain you. By noon, you haven't even started your real work. By evening, you're exhausted from doing nothing that fed your soul. This isn't burnout. This is misalignment. And rest without realignment is just postponing the inevitable. You're not recovering, so you're escaping. And escape is temporary. The moment you stop escaping, the weight returns, heavier than before. So the question isn't how much rest you need. The question is, what are you returning to when rest ends? If you're returning to the same misaligned structure, rest becomes a cycle of temporary relief. A pattern you repeat until your body forces you to stop completely. The way out isn't through more breaks, it's through fewer compromises. You have to ask yourself what you're doing that you wouldn't do if no one was watching. What goals you're chasing that aren't actually yours. What version of success you're performing that doesn't match your internal definition. And then you have to start removing those things, not all at once, but consistently, with the same discipline Musashi used to remove unnecessary weight from his life. Because every piece of misalignment you carry makes everything else harder. Every hollow obligation drains energy from the things that actually matter. Rest gives you space to see this, but it doesn't fix it. Only you can fix it. By choosing differently, by saying no more often, by walking away from things that look impressive but feel empty, by building a life that doesn't require constant escape. You'll know you've addressed the real problem when rest starts working again, when a weekend actually restores you, when sleep feels like recovery instead of postponement. That's the signal, not that you rested better, but that you align better. Burnout isn't a rest problem, it's a direction problem. You can't rest your way out of the wrong path. You have to change the path. And that requires something rest cannot provide. It requires the willingness to remove what doesn't serve you, even when removal looks like failure to everyone watching. Most people never do this. They rest, return, deplete, and repeat. They mistake exhaustion for dedication. They confuse burnout with hard work. They spend years in this cycle, wondering why rest stops working, never realizing that rest was never the solution, just a temporary reprieve from a structure they refuse to change. You don't need more rest. You need more clarity about what you're spending your energy on, and the courage to remove what's misaligned, even when it's comfortable, even when it's expected, even when walking away makes you look like you've given up, because the alternative is carrying this weight until your body makes the decision for you, until burnout becomes breakdown, until rest stops being optional and becomes mandatory, and by then the cost is much higher. So stop waiting for rest to fix what only removal can change. Stop treating burnout like a battery problem when it's actually a direction problem. And start asking yourself the one question that actually matters. If you could design your life without anyone watching, without needing to explain or justify your choices, what would you remove first? That's where recovery begins. Not in rest, in subtraction, in the quiet refusal to carry what doesn't serve you, in the discipline to say no to the wrong things so you have energy for the right ones. Rest doesn't heal burnout. Alignment does. And alignment requires you to stop escaping and start removing. Not someday, right now.